Whew. Hey, man, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I'm here to say that we got trash. You know what I mean? Because, hold up. I need y'all to keep my brother and his family in prayers. Kenny Fatso, he missed a day, still dealing with the issues with his dad. You know, they going through something serious right now in the family. I'd rather not speak on, but just keep Kenny Fatso, his family, you know what I'm saying? To all the Muslims, make dua for, his father, all the, everybody, just, send them prayers up for the brother. His father been in the hospital sometimes, going through a few things, and it's tough, you know what I'm saying? It's your parents, and we want our parents forever. Those that have them or those that have great relationships with them, we want that forever. So, but, just pray for my brother, and I pray that Allah give his father 40, 50 more years, you know what I mean? But keep Kenny Fatso in prayer. But back to it, Kenny couldn't be here today, so I'm rolling doughy. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with rolling doughy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little dough. But I'm cool. But, you know what I'm saying? Kenny going to do the Kenny with the sports blues, you know what I mean? So I got to help him out a little bit. Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, man. I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I don't count that win that the Ravens got. A win is a win. I respect it. But come on, man. The Titans been soft since they let Deshaun go. Let's talk about it. The Titans been soft since Deshaun left. Pittsburgh, I'm feeling like if Kenny Pickett don't show up in like game, it's different. If they don't show up in like game so-and-so, you know what I mean? I don't know, bro. That's different. You know what I mean? They can't wait till week 10 and try to do quarterback adjustments. These quarterbacks don't get it right in the first 5 games, man. We need a quarterback. And I don't think if Kenny Pickett don't show up this year, we're going to be in the market for a quarterback, and Pickett going to have to play the bench. He might make a great backup quarterback. But, like I said, man, it's only game 1. And, the best, some people come back 0-1 and win Super Bowls. But that's been a long time since we did that. Like, Pittsburgh really start the season 0-1. That's tough. That's really tough. You know what I'm saying? But, the Ravens got their win. Everybody was down the bank. The Ravens fans went crazy. I think it was 24. Then they put up 27 points, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to Colorado, man. Hey, listen, bro. I grew up college fan. I was kind of mad at Deion. I must admit right now, I was mad at Deion for making that move. But over the summer, I understood the move because I had to dig more into the move, and I still got a quarter of a question mark there. But now I see what he did. You know what I mean? Taking those kids, to the next level and be there in prime time, cutting up. And, man, don't let that man go undefeated. And I just can't wait till he face some bigger obstacles so he can quiet the naysayers. I think the naysayers will be fully quiet. And what about them Oreos? You know what I mean? Baltimore Oreos looking good. Looking good. Looking very good, man. We about to, bust that playoffs wide open, man. You know what I'm saying? What else was going on in sports? I don't know, man. It was just hella games this week. Hey, I check out my cousin, too, the Porch Prophet. Check out the Porch Prophet. That's cuz, man. I love him to death. The Porch Prophet is big. Pull that comment up there. It's my man Watts checking in. It say, we trash Pittsburgh. Oh, yeah, watch you a 49er fan. Yeah, boy. That running back cut up. That running back cut up something viciously. I mean, that whole team cut up 30 points, bro. They treated us bad, Watts. They treated us like we wasn't men. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad about that. Let's go, Lee.
This that new. It's that new swag. It's that new swag. It's that new spaz. I say, new water, new ice, new neck beats. Police in the back, they gotta catch me. Only met me one time, she wanna sex me. New life, new bitty, and she sexy. New water, new ice, new neck beats. If the police pulling up, they gotta get me. Only after could I touch her and she let me. New bitty, new bag, new VV. I'm the nigga with the bag and I ain't trap me. I apply the little pressure, ain't match. I can fly it in the mountains like a Latin. I could never fall in love, I learned my lesson. niggas hate me. Niggas mad cause that girlfriend's like me. All day and I'm Hugo Boss sing. Well known, you can Google my name. Same click, all that best I won't change.
Yes. We back in the building with another podcast, and this is RawDope Podcast, and I'm your host, HAMM5000. Man, it's episode 271, man. 29 episodes away from the 3-peat. So I think that this is my state of the union. This is my state of the union. This is my message to the fans. This is me addressing the fans, and I think almost 2,700 subscribers we got. We trying to get it to 3,000, but this is my addressing the fans in my community. You can call in right now and ask me anything you want, long as there's no fakeness, man, no foolishness, man, long as it's nothing BS. But right now, man, I just want to thank each and every one of my subscribers right now, man. A round of applause for the subscribers, man. A round of applause for the people that check in every week with RDP, man. Everybody that brought t-shirts, that brought hats, everybody that came out to the anniversary yesterday, everybody that support the program. This is my thank you to you. I really appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, man. It's hard, but it's fair, man. It's hard, but it's fair, man. You know what I'm saying? Nothing come easy, man. And I've been struggling my whole life, man. But if you want to tap in, man, hit that link right below, bro. Tap in. You can ask me anything. Everybody get like 5 minutes or something, and they can ask me whatever they want to ask me, man. I'm cooling, man. Leader Genius in the building. Digital Empath is on the board. You know what's up with the homies. And listen, man, this episode is brought to you by Every Town for Gun Safety. Every Town for Gun Safety is a nonprofit organization, man, that's out there to touch bases with the victims of gun violence, with police officers, ex-offenders, with children. They want to put the guns. They're not saying people shouldn't have guns, but they want the guns in the hand of the mature. They want the hands of the mentally stable, and they want you also to protect your guns from getting in the hands of children. And if you are a student that's going through something, man, I'm going to need you to text the word student to 644-33. That's the word student, 644-33. Every Town for Gun Safety. Every town, every city, every block. So listen, man, if you want to tap in right now, if you're watching this, here you go, man. As it's September and as we approach, 300 episodes, man, RawDope Podcast was just a vision, man. I can honestly say, man, it was just a vision. And I was real good when I used to rap with freestyling. So being as though with that, I had to remind myself sometimes I did it without a pen. But everything just came to me naturally. The name, I came up with the name because I wanted to come out with something that stand out. I wanted to come out with a name that'll make people look twice, and then make, ignorant and naive people put their nose up to it until they get a chance to talk to the creator of the content with the name. So I call my stuff raw because it's raw and it's uncut, it's authentic, it's pure. And I call myself dope because it's cool. It's pure and it's cool. And our slogan is the same thing they do to you in the court of law, but we just stand by the content laws, and rather to say, the homie laws, the neighborhood laws. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet. So if you say something out the way, that's our disclaimer right there. Every time you hear me say that, that was the disclaimer. It's like, bruh, I'm not going to let you say nothing because we stand behind the triple F. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. We stand 100% behind the triple F.
Need some triple F shirts now.
Yeah, I'm going to drop them. We stand 100% around the triple F. So with that being said, bro, we don't allow artists to go bananas. But every man has their own opinion. I got my own opinion, Doug. That's Kenny Famous saying. Every man, you know what I'm saying? So we like to give people their opinion without disrespecting nobody. Now, it's been probably a couple here. A couple dudes probably slid it in real quick on me where I couldn't catch it, or so late in the show where we just when we screaming live, we just simply can't edit it. You know what I'm saying? We just can't go into the editing bag at all. We can't just get with that. That ain't how things work. But overall, came with that name, so I say RawDope Podcast. That should speak people. So what we gonna talk about? We could have came up there. We could have talked about sports. Could have talked about politics. We could have reported all the bad things that go in Baltimore. So I say, let the concept be, since it's raw and it's dope, and we come from them blocks with the raw and the dope. It did big numbers. So we trying to put up them back block numbers with the RawDope on the podcast, but it stands for the opposite of what an idiot would think. Idiot from Baltimore would think that's what, you know what I mean? Not even idiot, excuse me, an idiot from out of town would think that, but dudes in the city know what that is. And also the stuff that you probably thinking about is not called that in other places. You know what I mean? They call it the HAMM5000. So it's not something that I think it's really more like a Baltimore thing. And I only ain't go with it. But basically, I took that thing that was a negative and turned that into a positive. So when people ask me about it, RawDope Podcast stands for the rawest and dopest interviews on the planet. And our slogan is no fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used on the internet. And we started recording the RawDope Podcast. I think it was like September, I think October 2018 or September, but we didn't drop our first episode till like December the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. And you could check me on those dates, the 6th or something like that, whatever it was. We dropped our first episode with, local artists that was on the come up or had a buzz. You know what I mean? Our first 10 interviews was with people that was coming up. And in that interview branch, and that first 10 interview slot, it was CZ Baby. It was Box Check Marty. It was Money Jake. It was A.O. Beezy. It was Day Day the Great. You know what I mean? It was T.S.O. Tato. It was like a real, you know what I'm saying? At that time in 2018, these niggas was all working, all on the come up and shit. And we put it together, and I knew coming in the door that people wasn't going to take it serious. This Baltimore, they ain't supposed to take nothing serious. You know what I mean? Especially when it's coming from a dude from the back block. You know what I mean? Or a dude, rap dude and everything. That shit ain't going to take off. But I just believed in myself and just started grinding. And I was like, yo, when I get this is going to be the one thing I stick to. I put out of school. I get put out of every goddamn thing. Clubs, everything. I say, yo, what's the one thing that was my thing. I put out of middle school. I kicked out of high school. I got kicked out of Job Corps. So I'm like, bro, like what I could do. I even got kicked out the goddamn out the dorm because we was making too much noise in the joint. So like I've been kicked out of everything. I say, yo, what I want to complete. And one of my completions in life that I said I had to do, it might not have been a big thing. I was over 25 to get my GED. So I was like, man, I got my GED. What's more important than getting your GED outside a college degree? And I said, man, getting these goddamn fans. You know what I'm saying? Building my own content, creating this podcast and making it make sense. You know what I mean? And that's what we did, man. We said, man, we for the have-nots and for the up and coming. So we share a lot of history on the Baltimore situation. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know what's going on in Baltimore, want to know about rappers and hip-hop, all you got to do is go thumb through these 270-some episodes, bro. And I promise you'll find talks from a lot of people. Stokey, man. DJ EFN from Drink Champs. That's episode 17. Man, I was 17 episodes in and thought that we made it. I said, we made it, Kenny. We interviewing DJ EFN when Drink Champs was just in his prime. And, man, I thought it was the biggest thing in the world, but, of course, we was all the way down there. We didn't really know what we was doing as far as the audio connection. My man gave us a recorder. I don't think he knew what he was doing on the recorder. We was doing shit like, yo, just set it on the thing you wanted to be set on, and we ain't gonna never move it. We gonna set it somewhere in the car, don't move it. It didn't work. The volume was low, but we got the interview out, and then we had a relationship. I think the first time that we kind of like hit that peak was with YG Tech. I think that's 2020, RawDope Podcast, freestyle. That kind of like gave us like a little light because people was like, damn, who is, Tech doing a show with RawDope? So that buzz for us. And the first time that we hit like, I can't tell you because we did 1,000 views so many times. The first time we hit 1,000 views, I don't remember that far. I can't tell you that because when we first started, man, I should just want 100 views. I'm not even gonna lie with you. My expectation was sky's the limit, but I literally would just chase 100 views. I would do more than that, but I'm like, bro, if I get 100 people to look at something that got 5 subscribers, and the subscriber I had 20, I could say out the gate we probably had 50 subscribers. So I'm like, we got 50 subscribers, we get 50 more people to look at that, that's 100. People used to be tripping on me because I used to really be chasing 100, just 100, not even asking for nothing. And then quickly, we went from, we got to get 500, and then the 500 went from 1,000. Then I was like, man, what did it feel like to do them numbers? So we invited an artist by the name of Whiny Sosa. Whiny Sosa, yeah, man. And we did 10,000, like, off the Rizzy. Like, people was in line. People was waiting for it to drop. They was cussing us out. I'm talking about when Sosa was just, like, in his bag after that game shit, after everything he had going on. And he was, like, the most hated guy in the city. Like, he had a lot going on. And we brought him in the studio. And I'm talking about, it ain't do nothing but go up, 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 up for, like, that whole 30 days. And I think we was at, like, 3,000 that, man, I don't know, bro. I think we was it was going crazy, bro. Like, I that was one of the great moments. And I think NSHT Chaz, he came on. And I think, I'm going to tell you what, Gucci Rock, the artist Gucci Rock. Gucci Rock, I think before Sosa, if I'm not mistaken, it was Gucci Rock. We did 5,000, a little over 5,000 views with Gucci Rock. First, it was like the viral moment with Tech. It wasn't a viral moment, but we from Baltimore. We creating content, bro. I mean, everybody ain't hitting on 1 million views, unfortunately. But a viral moment, bro, it's like on 10, 20,000 views. Like, I'm funny gutter, bro. Like, we doing 10, 20,000 views, bro. We come from the bottom, bro. Just sitting down talking to people that the world don't know because you never know who watching on YouTube. Of course, we see our geographics on YouTube, but man, it's people in India, Moscow, Russia watch my shit, bro, because you never know who clicking that on YouTube. But we did that, man, and we just started having moments after that. After that, we kind of like got like 2,000 subs or maybe 1,000 subs, and 1,000, 500, 600 views just became normal. Then, man, we just started having some 3,000 view days, 5,000 view days, 1,700. So roughly now, after grinding almost 5 years, where it should be up more, but you got to remember when we started doing this podcast shit, it was a dream that turned into reality. So it was a bunch of us that didn't know nothing about podcasts, and I was the one just watching all the podcasters, watching the equipment. I was studying it every night, and I would bring it back to them. Oh, this is what we need to do, or this is what we need to buy, and we did. And I remember before all this, we've been in the podcast game, I say, a little minute, because before, when we started out with a bunch of cords and ropes, and we had the best equipment, but it was just like so 90s, you know what I'm saying? It was like baseline studio. So we had that, man, and we just started building and grinding, and people ask me, like, yo, how you book some of the interviews you book? Because some of the interviews I get, a lot of the journalism and content creators and podcasters don't get, but generally, you know what I'm saying, bro, I've been around. I'm from Northwest Baltimore. I know a few good people, northeast and south and west of the city, so... And, it's like, hey, you know what I mean? When you grow up in the streets, even though I'm a changed guy, I don't be in the streets, but when you grow up in the streets, you tend to use some of those people you met and know to your advantage. And that's what RawDope Podcast was all about. It's like an ex-convict that created something that might have a negative name if you're just one-track mind and then you just like on some idiot time. But just imagine a convicted convict that's been convicted of some RawDope. I ain't afraid to tell you. My longest sentence, I just finished this sentence up in 2020. A dude hit the dude 4 pills in a hole, get chased, run through somebody else, get knocked off. I get knocked off with him. And I get the higher in the minor. That's when they used to charge people with that higher in the minor. Man, that ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? I like 25. But anyway, man, I do some dumb shit. Rushing the court, was going to court for like A year for the charge, was told the men in the charge. Any of my guys that was getting locked up in the end of the 80s and the 90s, early 2000 know this move. You been in court so long, man, you just might cop out because you're just tired of coming to court. They bring you to court and the court date 15 months later, then you wind up catching another charge. Then you might be out on 3 bails. Like, man, I used to get on my nerves when you go in there, they giving you violating your hicks, giving you a 180-day hit. It used to be sweet to dudes that used to be home. You know what I mean? They give you a 4-month, 150-day hit. It was sweet. You ain't got to go back to court now. But that day always pop up, bro. I'm here to tell you, that day always pop up that you got to go to court. So, yeah, man, pretty much, man. That's what it was, bro. So I went to court with that. I got the door on Chester. You know what I mean? I got some people that I went to a job call with, and I see dude said, Chester, is you talking about Chester, PA? I got a short story to tell about Chester, PA. Anyway, I was in Woodstock job corps, and I never heard of Chester, PA a day of my damn life. I went to Woodstock Job Corps Center in 1998. March of 1998. I was kicked out of Woodstock Job Corps Center by September of 1998, bro. I ain't not to brag about it, but I got kicked out. But anyway, they had some shit called peer mediation. I kind of don't really remember, but all I know is when you crack on people and get the joning from my DC guys and get the kicking your bit off a dude, the dude will go behind your back and tell a caseworker, and then the caseworker will bring you up to this room where you and that person that got an issue with you gotta go face to face. Man, I was up that room 3 and 4 times a week. But it was one guy in particular that I was fed up with. They was looking for me to stab, go up to that mediation meeting, whatever it was called. Anybody from Job Corps, put it in my comments right now. It was peer mediation with Miss Marino. I just know Miss Marino was teaching it. So I goes in that joint, man. It's the dude that just came from Chester, Pennsylvania. This is the first time I met a dude from Chester. I was an ignorant Baltimore Negro nigga on the streets of Baltimore just trying to get a diploma so my grandmother and mother could be happy. And I'm the oldest sibling, so I feel like if I got something, I could brag to my little brothers and them and they'll follow my lead, because that's what my people's always put in my head. Whatever you do, your siblings gonna follow because they all younger than you. So, man, I walk in there, it's this white guy, white boy. He used to wear these cowboy boots and flannel shirts, man, and Wrangler jeans. This was 98 when Air Max was out, polos and shit. So every day I seen him, he was funny. And he wore tight pants. So we used to call him tight ass. Every time he walked by, nigga be like, tight ass. Say shit like that, tight ass. Playing with him, you know what I'm saying? And dude would say that I was, cracking on him too much. So, man, he pulls me down into there until the peer mediation office. So when I get down there, Miss Marina, like, Floyd, you understand? It's your 3rd time this week, and it's a Wednesday. Like, 2 people pulled me up Monday, a person pulled me up on Tuesday. This cone pulled me up on Wednesday. It's 4. Man, I get in there, man. He get to talking, but what made me not judge books by their cover is that he told me where he came from, bro. You know, the man mother strung out on the drugs. The man mother left him. He had the same story of like a ghetto boy and girl. And I thought back then when I was ignorant that white people didn't struggle. And I'm just being honest. I didn't grow up down South Baltimore. I didn't grow up like that. You know what I'm saying? All I knew is the Jews was up Jewtown and cross Northern Parkway. That's where we be at. And white people was always doing good. That's what I thought until I got common sense. I just thought, boy, you come from a white family. Somebody in your family rich. So while he was a white boy, not a lot of white boys up Job Corps. He was a white boy. And I thought he was rich, boy, till he hit me with the white boy nigga story. Man, you know what I mean? Boy, had me almost tearing up. I had to... After that, he became my man. But I had to have peer mediation. That's how I learned about Chester, PA. So what you got for me, Lee?
I mean, I seen this thing with BG going on. I guess they going in on BG and his mannerisms since he been out.
What you mean?
They questioning his mannerisms. They saying he did a lot of time, and they looking at him funny.
Oh, that's a cold-blooded gangster.
Man, I'm just reporting what they showing. What they talking about right now?
Man. Man, that internet vicious, man. But so back then we started the shit and we got the podcast and we start moving around. We start getting good interviews, you know what I'm saying? People start fucking with us and it's like we had to do this shit for like 3 years, like coming into this the 4th year, so I could say the 3rd year coming into the 4th year. I mean, we going into the 5th year. I could say 3 to almost 5 has just been like the better grind. You know what I'm saying? We linked up with digital, years ago. And man, we just been putting the plays together. You know what I'm saying? I've been leading the way for a lot of podcasters, to find where to record at and, do a lot of stuff. And I just wish I get paid for it. But that's neither here or there. That's a joke. But a lot of dudes, man, I put a lot of dudes on my platform, bro. And like I tell dudes, if we talk about it now, bro, like we ain't eating off of it, not like that. Them YouTube pennies. It's enough to send your daughter to the penny candy store, and they don't even make penny candy stores no more. So the YouTube check not even enough to send your little girl to Target. You know what I'm saying? For 1,000 or 3,000 views. That's what it is. But you gotta survive. But I say, man, just early on, the vision was to get the people without a voice. You know what I mean? Make a real nigga feel seen. You know what I'm saying? Make a real woman feel seen. You know what I'm saying? Make some real businesses feel seen. Make some real artists that can really rap just because you ain't got a bust down Rolly Avalanche and you ain't got this exotic car and you ain't doing that. Doesn't mean that you can't rap. Doesn't mean that you ain't talented. So at the end of the day, we definitely was connecting with the hotter dudes in the city, but we never ran away from the up-and-coming dudes, the hot dudes, or the historians. People I interviewed, had the pleasure interviewing Boss Man like 3-4 times. It was an honor to interview Tim Trees, and a lot of young people might not know that, but I'm saying, bro, every dude that ever rap in life wanted bankroll or wanted any type of sample. And if Tim Trees would have made it, like Tim Trees, I think, went 4 for 4, like 5 for 5. The joint with Davon. First he had bankrolls, and then he had that joint. Wayne Jones getting hit on phone, talking on my flip phone, getting my dick blown, talking the shit show. I know that for sure. Then he had the joint with Davon. Is this your friend, girl? And then he had that joint with Paula Campbell. So I said, man, in all reality, that boy went 4 for 4. And all them songs, if Tim Trees would have brought them out today, man, Tim Trees be a diamond artist. I ain't gonna hold you because 600-some thousand people in Baltimore, they would have knocked that out. It's some people in Maryland, they'd have knocked that out. You know what I'm saying? New York, everybody would have been feeling him because I feel like the South would have felt Tim Trees too because it was just a new way of flowing. And he came from Baltimore. But, I interviewed Tim Trees. It was dope. I'm trying, who else we had? I interviewed Lane-O. Shout out to the Muslim brother. Who was electrifying females that was cool? I think my first interview, Lee, with your cousin, was called The Kitchen and Uptown Hookups. And they was all in Tasha. They were all females. They came out. We was working out the gold room. We had a great-ass interview, man. Y'all guys should go check that interview out. They give some motivation for the dudes, you know what I'm saying? Girls into dudes that's getting some money. They ain't into begging, but they just into dudes that's getting something, doing something for themselves. But yeah, man, King Hazy, that's what I say, Lee?
Hazy.
Hazy, that's what I said first. Like King Hazy, what up, man? What's good? E Watts, my man. But that's how we was doing it. And if you ask me what's the most difficult thing that I face in this game is getting people to show up and then getting them to show up on time. That was like early on, bro. Dudes would be like, bro, I'm coming. Yo, you say the interview's at 7. Dudes getting there 8:30. And mind you, we paying for studio time. So I used to have to go in there, man, and pull all the rabbits out the hat. And mind you, it's this without a pen, though. So I had to come up and like, man, I got to be able to score this shit. So I start asking questions and start dealing with, my audience and then my guests like we was in the bullpen. the audience, the COs, the guys, is the bullpen got the people that's listening, you know what I'm saying? So when I say the audience is my COs, because they from afar. So when they heard the loudness and too much laughing, they think it's a fight in the bullpen, so they all run to the bullpen. You get them saying in there, heard RawDope Podcast. So that's the type of thing I like to do. So it's just certain things I'm not asking a man or woman. I'm not asking a man or woman, hey, boy, you been locked up for murder? Yeah, who you killed? Shorty got locked up for money laundering. Man, girl, how you was fucking your name up for? I ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? I keep it strictly music and strictly what the dudes come in for. And I think that's why we gaining some type of traction and success, because we stick to the business. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, again, we had a couple dudes come in here and might have threw a curveball or two. You know, they get caught. You get caught up on. You can't catch every goddamn thing. A camera catches everything, but it's still, I don't think the camera faster than the hand. You know what I mean? It's people that know how to wiggle and maneuver around the camera like they ain't doing nothing. I don't know, man. It's people that beat cameras before. It's dudes that go to trial every day that beat cameras. But I said it to say, man, we just started grinding, man. I was hurt at the DJ EFN because I just knew when we interviewed DJ EFN, we was going to have an opportunity to interview Noriega. And I said, man, if we get an opportunity to do that, we made it, because they were just buzzing. And Drink Champs is still one of my favorite podcasts. And Nori didn't do the interview. Nori didn't even acknowledge us. He didn't even holler at the guys. But we'll catch up with Nori again, man. You know what I'm saying? We needed to get our partner. But that's what we thought. We thought we made it. I said, man, just DJ EFN for Drink Champs. And what that showed me is, bro, you can have a big celebrity on your podcast, and you can really fuck that podcast, that celebrity name up, because you might don't got no juice. You know, at the time EFN did the interview, I ain't had no juice. So the video is still at like 200. It might be at 500 now. I'm not sure. But yeah, man, I ain't had no juice, man. And EFN stayed in contact with me to this day. I can hit him. I don't have his phone number, nothing like that. I got his email and his DM. And every time I hit him, he responds back. It might not be like one of my homeboys, but within an hour, bro gonna say something back. Keep going. I see you. You know what I mean? DJ EFN took his time out and explained to me this podcast shit, what it's going to take to get a podcast deal. And some of the stuff that EFN told me, people charging $5,000 and $10,000 to hear that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He shared some valuable, important information that I think he kept it real enough not to ask for nothing off of it. If he would have asked for it, I wouldn't have paid it. Because at that time, we just started the podcast. And I mean, I don't know how the next man think. I just can't pay you this. Let me grind it out, and I might can find a way through the loop or something. But yeah, man, we started, man, this thing, man. Who else, man? I'm trying to think. Yo, it's so many interviews. That's why I'm trying to like drop it. If I don't do a 5-year live show anniversary, I promise you guys, the 5-year like 3-part documentary gonna drop. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You might get 15 minutes, then you might get a whole 90-minute one. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I just want to give back to the fans, and I wanted to say this. Thank you to each and every subscriber, to each and every follower on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And I don't do too good on Twitter and TikTok and Twitch, but y'all listen to this now. Go follow me, RawDope Podcast, on all that stuff. It's the same name, RawDope. That's it, bro. It's gonna see, and you're gonna see the black and gold sign, like we in Pittsburgh with it. But man, that's it. And I said what I was thinking about. I got it's like when I interviewed Stokey, that was pretty cool. But we was in 748 lounge out Woodlawn, and it was like we were in the back room. It was cool, great vibe. If y'all look at it, that's where we was at. But it was just so loud. And then we had Joy Attraction. And shout out to that, man. I might have gained like 200 subscribers from just going to 748 and people. We should be in the back room. So it was like we were doing. It's like me and Kenny probably did 20 live podcasts, because when we was in 748. 20, 30 people would come back there and just watch us and engage in the conversation. We interviewed Valley Smalls and his brother Dosey early on. Dosey got the barbershops. We Man. Yo, bro, when you did a 270 interviews, that's light compared to Joe Budden's, Joe Rogan, Drink Champs, or whatever, bro. It's a lot. It's a lot to go back and think, because it's like, man, how can you just go back and think of 270 interviews? I remember we lost Al Cool when George Floyd passed. So if you look at that, I was so mad going into the studio that night in the George Floyd situation that I went crazy. I thought I was gonna lose my channel because of that, but I didn't. So they was letting people kind of vent. What's your favorite episode, Lee?
My favorite episode, it's a lot of episodes that I would like. You said Tim Trues was a big one for me because I had, that one kind of caught me off guard. I'm trying to think of I gotta think about what's my favorite one though.
Yeah, because we had a lot of memorable moments though. When you say, Lee,
yeah,
there was a lot of epic moments. Roddy interview was pretty cool. I know the question that people ask you: have you ever been nervous doing some interviews? Yeah, I've been nervous doing some interviews. I have. When Tech did that freestyle, I was nervous, cause I know Tech personally, but I was just like, damn, this nigga a monster, and just to really see a monster at work was I was more I really wanted to kind of hold up, bro, just hit that rap about 3 times and let me be a fan first. So I had to sit there with the hookah, and if you look at that, bro, I'm a real excited person once I get to going, but if you pay attention to that freestyle, I was a little dry. And everybody say my little ad-libs was on point, but they could have been a little bit better. I think the Roddy Rax interview was kind of nervous because Roddy was saying a bunch of stuff that he wasn't doing. But that was that was a little bit of nervousness in it. I wouldn't even say nervous. It was yo, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, I don't want to mess this up. Interviews that I appreciate. Let me go to that. I really appreciated my first 10 interviews, bro. They could never be replaced. I actually, when I get it together and purchase my home, I'm actually gonna probably get a collage of my first 10 interviews, you know what I mean, of those particular people and see where they at. But I feel my first 10 interviews was just a milestone for me. And then when we hit 50 episodes, it was we good. They don't respect us. We hit 100 episodes. I remember Black took me, shout out my man Lil Black, the CEO. We did 100 episodes, and we was in this little teeny bar, and I'm a big guy, so I had to walk up these twisty steps, bro. It was man, I said, bro, but we did that show. And it was always a pleasure to hook up with Lil Black, the CEO from 92Q. It's always a pleasure to hook up with Black, man. We argue a lot because, I know Black beyond radio and television and everything he got going on in the club. You know what I mean? He actually from the neighborhood. So, and he was the prom king. I think it was 93, 94 school year up Forest Park. And I know it was 94, 90, 95 school year because after that, probably at the 10th grade, I didn't give 2 fucks about homecoming. I wasn't in a pet rally, but we was going somewhere smoking some weed and drinking and going to the game fucked up. And the only time we noticed something was going on if a dude hit a big play. So I'm just saying, I don't know what y'all was doing for homecomings, but after a while, your 9th, your 10th grade years, all right, 11th grade year, I got stuff to do, bro. I'm going to go smoke and get fucked up for the real party, the football game, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. But, so the first 10 interviews, I will honestly say, were just milestone interviews for me. Then we hit 100 episodes that was with Black, and then I was like, yo, we gotta reinvent ourselves. So, I was we were still recording. I think that was the end of the 748 era around, episode 100, you know what I mean? Probably did a good 20 episodes there. If I'm not mistaken, maybe less. It might have been, I don't know. I gotta look at it. And then we was thumbing through the internet because they said we couldn't use the spot no more. And every person that ever let us use the spot thought we were just going to podcast for a day every other week, bro. We come in that bitch 2-3 times a week, busting that joint open. Because we were bro, we will record, bro, we supposed to be over 300 episodes. I'm supposed to be talking about 4 Pete right now. You know what I mean? Because if you do 2 episodes per week times some, I think that's 96 episodes a year. And we've been in this shit 5 years, so we actually did what we was set out to do. 96 episodes a year, bro, would have kind of like put us, over a nickel, over 500 episodes. So really, RawDope Podcast supposed to have like 500 episodes actually out. But, you know what I'm saying, you live and you learn. And when you get in the business, bro, you can't come in there, swag surfing. You got to learn things. You got to build. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn, and nobody not teaching you. Far as everybody want a penny for something, and then they ain't teaching you nothing. You gotta give them enough pennies for them and say, boy, I done drink your wallet. But let me just tell you how to do this. But, along the way, man, I want to just say, shout out, man, free my man, free Uncle Sean, man. Stone Pit, man, was like the first place that gave us that look, the Gold Room. It's the actual first place that we recorded RawDope Podcast. Maybe the first 30 episodes were there. And then, I ain't even gonna say 30. Cause after EFN, I think, I don't know, man, but after a while, we was in Stone Pit, right in the hood where I grew up at, right on the wall. Falls Park in Erndale, man, it was the look. It had a great look with it. We was getting it in, and then, shit happened, and, so that was Mumbles. We was with Mumbles first. Shout out to Mumbles, man. They say DJ Mumbles ain't himself no more, man. I prayed that Allah just bring him back, in any type of way that he can. But we started out at the Gold Room with DJ Mumbles, and then we moved to Stone Pit, which is on Erndale. Uncle Sean, he had got behind it, and was like, bro, you can shoot it here a couple days out the week. Plus, you know what I mean? And my first 2 locations just definitely was 420 friendly because I used to shoot at night. Back then, the episodes should be like 8 to 10. And after that, we was playing with my man Friendly. Shout out to my man Friendly, childhood friend of mine. He had his basement fixed up real nice, so we got into the basement with him for a few episodes. And then we grinded that way, and then we was freestyling. And one day I just got tired of freestyling. So when I got tired of freestyling, man, I said, man, look, I called Kenny, like, bro, we just gonna have to find a podcast studio. I'm tired of dragging this equipment anyway. Everybody acting funny, bro. Like, I'm sick of that, man. I'm trying to do something different. I'm trying to work on something right. So we found a young guy on the internet, and he had this dope ass studio. And when I seen the studio, I'm like, boy, I didn't even tell Kenny. It was like supposed to be like a surprise. I seen the studio. I'm like, damn, this podcast life 1-on-1, man. And he gave me the address to the studio. And when he told me where the studio was at, I said, hold up. Is this studio is in a place? Because I knew the address, but I'm like, why would a nice place like this be right there? Called dude, he told me, when I called the dude, he told me he was in the gym. So I'm like, damn, that's a big buff computer nigga. That's what I was thinking, because it was like, dude just sounded like had a nice specific voice. So he sounded, I said, man, that's an old 6'5" buff nigga that do computers and shit. And we went to that, man, and this man took us in the basement, man. And that was the day that, me and Kenny and Leader Genius, got together, and Digital Impact became our primary producer for the podcast, and we've been rocking. It's crazy because we probably got like I think when we make 200 episodes, that'll kind of like be our 200 episode too. So it's a very special situation. It's like, it might not be, I'm gone crazy because I'm thinking we got like 200 episodes, or at least like over 150 episodes in. We just stay consistent and stay down, man. We don't ask for money, but if you're watching this right now, become a super chat member, though. You know what I mean? Y'all pay Netflix, y'all play Hulu, y'all play Peacock, y'all playing YouTube for the ticket now. Y'all get the Sunday ticket, man. If you like what you like, man, just go ahead and be a chat member, man. Go get one of them badges, man. Show me some love, man. Show me some love. I ain't feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no sleep. I ain't had nothing to eat, real live food in 2 days. All I had was 2 bananas and some waters, and I ain't no Hennessy in me or nothing, bro. Like I ain't going through it. But I wanted to address my fan base. I wanted to address my subscribers and just let y'all know that I appreciate y'all, bro. Like, y'all the reason when them numbers go up, I gained 65 new followers in the last, 60 days. So I really appreciate that. And we built this thing from the ground up. We grind, we stay in beast mode. So that's just how I feel about that, man. Thank you. And that's why I said, man, I ain't never do an episode just addressing my fans and just telling them a little bit about myself. But actually, man, because I don't want to leave nothing out I was trying to get at. So, we met Digital Impact Studio, and that's what brings y'all to 271 episodes. But I grew up, born, and basically raised up on Ricestown in Virginia. 4600 block of Ricestown Road, 3500 block of Virginia Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Waldorf, Umatilla, Ridgewood, all that, St. Ambrose, all that, Woodland, Ricestown, all that, Lucille, all that. That's my neighborhood. And basically, my mother was, from Park Heights. My mother, whole family from Park Heights or New York or New Jersey, up that way. But, whole family from Park Heights. And my father, a lot of my father family lived over Liberty Heights and Garrison. So I kind of just was like, before I understood the sectors, you know what I mean? Because I used to get arrested so much, I ain't fucking know what Northwest Baltimore. I'm from Northwest Baltimore. Assalamu alaikum. I'm from Northwest Baltimore. It is what it is, man. But then there's Sector 2, Sector 3, shit like that. And, man, man. So it was one of those points, like, my father, whole family from Liberty Heights and Garrison. My mother, whole family from Park Heights. So mostly, since I could walk, I could play both areas. And as I got older, I recognized, how I could use both of the neighborhoods that I was generally from, because couldn't tell me I was from Liberty Heights and Garrison, because I spent a lot of summers around there just from the age of 5 to like 12 till I had to actually move permanently in the neighborhood. In Ricestown, dude was there, 375 days. Because 90 days, I really spent over Garrison, and any of our big family gatherings was over there. And I was 12 years old, when my father made a decision that was going to be my permanent residence. And I was 12. And I was going to Pimlico, so I literally used to walk from my house, 3905 Fairview, all the way to 3500 block of 3500 block Virginia Avenue, and my man father will wait for me and take us to school. Don't ask me why the man ain't say meet me at Callaway and goddamn anything, but he just wasn't coming. I wanted that ride. I had to be at his house by a certain morning, because I was like, man, that's a vicious walk all the way from Fairview and Chelsea all the way to Pimlico. But when you young, you don't really care. And then plus, Virginia Avenue is my neighborhood, so I wanted to see my friends. So I would always just be like, man, the walk was worth it, because I get to go back to, to see my friends. But yeah, man, so Northwest Baltimore, that's where I'm from, bro. I went to Malcolm X. I went to Dr. King. I went to Pimlico Middle. I went to Green Spring. I was up Northwestern for like 3 days. I was at Walbrook for like 3 days. I ain't get put out or nothing, but they had zoning laws back then, and I had to go to my zone school, wound up being Forest Park. So I went up Forest Park for the first year, and then got transferred to Emerson. I went up Emerson for like 3 years, and then my I don't know, I went to the 10th grade. Yeah, I went in the 10th, passed, and I was in 11th twice up Emerson. So I got put out of Emerson and went back to Forest Park. Then when I went back to Forest Park, I got put out quick, running my mouth to the teachers, and they started some shit called detention when you late. If you come to school like 9:30 and school start like 8:45, whatever time it start, you had to do that amount of time of detention. And I had packs to sell, so we was bumping heads, and I was 18 already, and they was like, well, you ain't got to be in school. You can go to Harbor City, and I wasn't going to Harbor City. I went more like the trap and got full time with the trap. But I went to Emerson, and then after that, I was like, man, I was 18 years old, got put out. I was like, yo, it's embarrassing, because my big cousin, Porch Prophet, he graduated, you know what I'm saying, the whole process, and he 4 years older than me. So when I graduated from middle school, he was graduating from high school. So I was trying to follow his lead, but man, it was a little bit different from when he started and I started. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the schools, and I went to Emerson. I went to Woodstock Job Corps Center, located in Woodstock, Maryland. I met a lot of dudes out there, and that's as far as my education go. I lived on college campuses, hung out in them joints, but I ain't never go to no college. You know what I mean? I wish I would have did. Because some of the shit that I do now, and I was like, damn, I could have learned that shit 20 years ago and be a beast of today, especially content creating. Like, and then I just didn't know. Like, it was like, bro, if you went to Emerson or Forest Park, help me out, because they didn't talk to you about college like that. I didn't hear nobody when I was in high school. I'm not lying, no niggas that went to college and all that shit, bro, but that shit wasn't like drilled in my head that this is like the next step. I seen my man, Marlo, he went to college. I know a few dudes that went to college at the high school, but I just wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't, in my household, that shit wasn't important. You know what I'm saying? In my household, that shit wasn't important, bro. Like, yo, you got your high school diploma, you did something better than your uncles. But overall, you need to get a job. You know what I'm saying? That's how mine was. Boy, you need to get a job, get with the union, and work for 30 years. You know what I mean? That's what I was told, bro. Ain't nobody do no whole bunch of school. All right, school, cool. How the fuck you going out with these bills around here? So I was one of them young dudes, 12, 13 years old. I remember I got my first job. Yo, Libby Ice moving permanently around Libby Ice and Garrison was a hell of an experience. You know, I grew up, you know, with my grandmother, God rest her soul. And when I moved to Garrison Primary, I was with my mother. She passed away. So I was with my great-grandmother. Man, I walked in there with my little bags. I never forget it. My uncles laid the murder game down on me, man. They looked me dead in my eyes and said, hey, mom ain't buying no $90 shoes. Now, $90 shoes is equivalent to maybe $200 shoes right now. So $90 was the average price of certain. So and I wore them. You know what I'm saying? You know, my grandmother, you know, she kept, you know, fat nigga good, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, my man Pop and Gary, Uncle JoJo used to keep us good. You know what I mean? JoJo was getting so much money. I don't know nothing about, see, listen, man, I don't know nothing about all the tough guys and the guys that was millionaires since they was 12. JoJo used to get a whole lot of money, and JoJo used to wear his tennis shoes once. And the boy will buy 2-3 pair in a day. And the boy will wear it one time, bro, and just throw them in a box and like, every season, like at the wintertime come, he'd call his nephews up there, get boxes of bags of shoes, bro. You go in there, bro, shit be brand new. The boy only wore them once, man. And my man Pop and Gary used to get him and shit before niggas was growing out. And Joe and Pop kind of wore the same size. And you know what I'm saying? That was back like 7.5, 8. You know what I mean? That shoe size. So if you wore like between a 7 to an 8, boy, when Pop came with that bag and he got everything out, and there was so many shoes in these bags that he couldn't even get everything out. He was missing shit. Like, I got my first pair of Bo Jackson, the blue, white, and gray ones. I got them bitches from some hand-me-downs, bro. It was so fresh. All I did was go in the house, man, and put a little bit of soap on that motherfucker and spank it a little bit, wipe the spots off, and then hit it with the dry rag, and they was fresh, bro. So I used to have hand-me-downs, you know what I'm saying, outside of my grandmother used to do, right? So my uncles walked me in there and said, man, mom ain't buying no $90 shoes. And back then, they stopped me. Mama get that check every month, and nigga, you ain't asking for no $90 shoes. I'm like, damn, $90 shoes. So if you ain't gonna get nobody no $90 shoes, like, what type of shoes you supposed to wear? The best pair, I mean, all right, you get some $59 shoes, but the average cool sneakers back then was between $59.99 and $100. So it's like, damn, bro. And I think like the most a pair of J's cost back in the G was like $150 or $129. I mean, how much did Jordans cost? Jordans might have been $89.99 too, bro, if I'm not mistaken. Air Force Ones, high top with the scraps, and $89.99. The old school, not the 95s, the old school Air Max, $89.99. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what my uncles, good shoes were $89.99. And they told me I wasn't wearing no goddamn $90 shoes, nigga. And when I moved in, bro, I had a job at the hardware store in like 3 weeks. They like eliminated all my bullshit. And then after I had a job for like 3 months, they told me my bill and the job was paying me about $60 to $100 a week. Not even that, because we talking about minimum wage was $6.25. So he would give us about $50 to $75 a week. But when you're 12 years old, $75 a week, a lot of damn money. That's enough to take $5 to school the whole week. When you 12, $5 take you a long way. $5 should get you motherfucking 4 wings and fries and a half and half, bro. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, $5. Or get you a chicken leg for $1.50, 2 chicken legs with the Western fries. You know what I'm saying? That's a food with cheap. Or you might can get a cheeseburger sub and fries for the $5 back then. So you in a hardware store, you able to work. This is how I was taught. You able to work. You able to spend $5 a day in school. You was paying us every Saturday because they didn't open up on Sundays. And then we got out of school like 3-something, so we set to work 4 to 9. So you work 5 hours every day, so basically 30 hours a week for like $50 to $75. If I'm not mistaken, maybe $50 to $100. Because I'm thinking like, nah, you work 25, 30 hours a week. And then on Saturdays, he made you work longer. Saturdays, you had to work like 9 to 4 before payday. You know what I mean? And yeah, and I had my job, and I'm like, damn. After I had my job for a couple months, my uncle was like, hey, you gotta start paying bills around here. Like, what? Bills? What the fuck is a bill? I'm 12. Like, what's a bill? Man, I was like, yeah, the water bill. The water bill back then was probably $9 a month or something. You got the water bill. Nigga, you were, and that's just how it went. So early on, you know what I'm saying, I learned how to be real responsible. And my uncles wasn't the best guys in the world. Some of them was early on heroin abusers, bro. But one thing my uncles taught me that people don't teach nowadays was loyalty. My great-grandmother had 12 children, 9 boys and 3 girls. So them dudes ain't really never need a crew and never needed nobody to, you know what I mean, exercise who they was, man. But you know what I'm saying? That's just how it was. So, you know what I mean? I feel like, hold up. I feel like, that shit that my uncles did to, like, me and my cousin Robert, they gave us, like, a sense of, it gave us a sense of hope at a young age because they let us know that ain't nobody gonna give you shit. You know what I'm saying? That was the lesson. Mama not buying no $99 shoes. And I think you used to get $100 in food stamps. If I'm not mistaken, your check used to be a social service check. Grandma would get like $180 for you every month. And I got to the point that at 13 and 14, bro, I got to the point I even asked my grandma for nothing out the check. Them niggas trained me like that, bro. I didn't ask for nothing out the check. Now, the first of the month, she would give me something. You know what I mean? $50, $60 every month. Hey, boy, go buy yourself something. Sometimes she might even be nice enough. If everything cool, it might give me the 80. Then that's all you ask for. Sometimes she might give me the 20. But, you know, it wasn't no problem because back then you give a nigga $80 the first, and I already got a little job. You know I'm adding $11 to it and get me a pair of $90 tennis shoes. So that's that's what I work for. You know what I'm saying? I grind. I work, I never gave up, I pushed, and that's something that my uncle did. And then my second job was at Chesapeake Seafood with my cousin, because he had been working, he had that job since he was 14. So he was working all through high school through that job. So they wouldn't give me a job in the back because they were just like, you too young. And I was only I got that job the next summer. I was only 13. Yeah, I was 13. And they gave me that job, man. I think I held that job down for like 2 summers straight. From May to school started, he used to let me run a snowball stand. And I ain't gonna lie, I started seeing some real money as a little nigga back then because running a snowball stand, people constantly, we had 50-cent snowballs, 75 snowballs, and $1 snowballs. And bro, you wouldn't believe it, bro. Like, hey, I sold about 400 or 500 snowballs, different joints, all day. Like, I was constantly running in the back doing it, held it down. So, man, and that job, Lee would look out. Because that was, you was there, I was there all day long. So my little checks, he gave me my little brown, it was by a Chinese guy. He gave me my little brown envelope. It got 200 in it. And I was coming to work, and they opened up at 11 o'clock. So me and my cousin had to be there early at 10. And I had to set the ice up and do everything, man. Man, give me $200. I couldn't believe it. I said, damn, $200 to do this all day? Boy, this a pair. You get a pair of $90 tennis shoes and 3 outfits. You know what I'm saying? We from the ghetto. We like to get 3 outfits without sneakers. All that nigga. Or you just broke. You just got paid a pack in the sweatsuit. You know what I mean? Because you got a pair of nice tennis shoes. Back then, that was my motto. I wanted 3 outfits to match the shoes. Because, you know what I mean? You're supposed to get a good 3 good wears out the shoes, and you put them up to the next season when nobody don't see them no more, then you bring them back out. That's how I grew up with that swag. But, yeah, man, that was my second job. And then after that, I think when I turned 15 in 9 months, I had a Commonwealth summer job. I think that was like going into the 10th grade. That summer that I was in the 9th. Had a Commonwealth summer job, man. And then after that, I was like 15. I started selling that dope and coke and weed and doing petty stick-ups. And you wonder, like, how do a kid train from 12 to that? In the mix of 12 to 15, I was in the mix. You know what I'm saying? I was on the snowball stand every day watching the older G's getting money that I used to hold back sometimes. Oh, hey, man, the police right there on the side. You get what I'm saying? I grew up doing that, so I was very, 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 very curious about, you know, what was going on in front of my house. You know what I'm saying? What I heard that my uncles were doing, or what I heard my mom used to do, or what my aunties doing, or what my dad do. So I wanted a part of that, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like going to work every day, you know what I'm saying? Like if you look at the Bronx Tale, when you know what I'm saying, you thinking a working man's a sucker. Not like literally a sucker, but you like, man, it's for suckers. Like, that ain't the type of thing, because you like, man, I worked all week, and you like I said, I was a 14-year-old boy, proud, bro, to make that little bit of money. I was proud to make $200 a week, and I look at myself like, we could, but you can't keep. I wanted that mentality, because next supposed to be McDonald's, you know what I mean, or another fish joint. But nah, man, it was that bad block. You know what I mean? It was that bad. But I already touched drugs before when I was younger. When I was 12, I tried it out. We worked up that bitch for like a week and got all new sweatsuits and new tennis shoes. That's all dudes was paying. You give you $20 at the end of the night, buying your sweatsuit at the end of the week. I went through that, but I was only 12, so I didn't care. I went to Cinderella's. Like, that was a big thing. A brand new sweatsuit and some $90 tennis shoes. That's a dream come true. For me, I'm from the ghetto. A fresh Russell. Baby blue with the baby blue ass with the net in them with the scrap that go all the way around. If you ever had that turquoise blue Russell sweatsuit with that hoodie with them baby blue like some turquoise high top forces, man, with the scrap go all around with the net on the side of them, man, you had to pair them with a sweatsuit on, man. You was like that. You was like that, you know what I mean? Any of my old D-boys in the comments and any dudes that came up and was doing their thing, man, tell them you was like that. You know what I mean? You had a Sergio Tacchini sweatsuit on, boy, with some Van Grass. You was like that. Dudes was laughing at me because I kept bringing up K-Swiss, and I say, y'all young because, boy, fresh pair of white on white K-Swiss with a pair of Nautica, little Docker shorts, and you know what I mean? A nice, fresh Nautica shirt with them joints. You was like that. But, you know, that's fashions of the 90s and here and there. But listen, I had the pleasure this weekend. Man, with hanging out, you know, with my lady, and for our birthday weekend, and we went to New York, and we had the pleasure to go into the Book of Hove. Man, I thought we wasn't there yet because we parked on the side. And you know you can't get no parking in New York, but I had to remember you in the barrow, so she ready to find parking, man. We went in there, man, and I told her, after I left, y'all, because I'm going to play a few clips before I get out of here, but when I left, right, I told her, in the museum, I said, one day mine's going to be like this. Man, the stuff that they displayed in there about the boy history, bro, they need to do like a 12-part, a 10-part Netflix series just on Jay-Z life, bro. It is amazing what Jay-Z did, bro. I don't know if a lot of dudes be paying attention and wonder why he my favorite guy. He's my favorite guy just because of that, bro. For the way he make moves and the way he handle things. Man, I love that man, man. I love that man, and I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I think almost every black crew that's doing something try to mimic their stuff. Not mimic, but like taking some pages out of them Rock Jay-Z boys' book, bro. Now, I mean, my time's the best man I ever seen do it. They had their own clothes, own liquor, their own label, their own movies. They had that stuff. Now, I mean, only person I knew before that was doing it. Maybe I'm a little off, but Russell Simmons. Heard about Russell Simmons being a black man with a label, and I heard about, Duck Down Productions and heard about this, but nobody did it like Jay-Z did it back in the 90s. Know what I'm saying? I mean, Jay-Z and the Rough Riders, like, DNY is like niggas I look up to, like, Master. When I was coming up, I come off the 80s of Russ and Rick. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's Def Jams, Russ Records, whatever. Then we had dudes like Master P. I'm out that 90s Cash Money, Rough Riders, Rockefeller. Then you had them boys over in the Midwest, Jay Prince and them would rap a lot. See, I knew back then these dudes had labels that was their shit, bro. That was vicious, and the California boys was doing it back then. So it's like, man, how the hell you get a label? So they didn't teach that in school. So a lot of shit I wasn't interested in. They would have told me back in school, hey, you want to be like Jay Prince? You want to be like Russell Simmons? You want to be like Bob Johnson? You want to do this and that? This is what you need to get into. They didn't teach that in school, man. They didn't say this is what you need to get into to get the next level, man. They told me Jesus was a carpenter, be a carpenter. And I really went to Emerson for carpentry. They said Jesus was a carpenter, man. And that might have been true, but that's it. Hey, man, be a carpenter. Jesus was a carpenter. Real shit, bro. And I tried that shit, bro. I said, bro, pouring concrete. I did a couple jobs pouring concrete. I handle my business, but I say it's got to be something more for fat people, bro. It has to be something more in the world for fat people, man. And it took me to be damn near 40 to discover this microphone, and I love what I do. So, man, once again, man, I thank all of y'all, each and every last fan, man. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the follows. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the donations. Only is $5.99. And to all the people that gave me an opportunity to make history with them, all 300 and some interviews I did, people that was patient with us when we could not prevail a real interview. You know what I mean? Not a real interview, but when we do a whole interview, somebody sitting there talking to you for almost 2 hours and you call them and tell them, yo, the interview ain't right, bro. Yo, Kenny messed up or something on the board. Yo, we ain't hook up something right. And nobody never cussed us out, bro. People used to be like, man, come on, man, y'all gotta do it again. Y'all gotta do it again. But listen, man, before I get out of here, look, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment right now, man. Hey, listen, man, before we get out of here, man, help me out, man. Come on, man. Right there, join, become a member right now. Give me a badge right now, man. Let me see one badge, pop up. If you like any of what this is me addressing my fans, my message to my fans, just talking to my subscribers and the people that fuck with me, that brought a t-shirt, brought a hat, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, people that donated to the Cash App, people that brought badges that help with any type of love you gave for RawDope Podcast. I want to say I appreciate you 1,000%. I got nothing but love, respect, and loyalty for you. But before we get out of here, come on, Lee. Hold up, Lee. Don't do it yet. Yeah, put it on, Lee. This is a part of the museum. That's one of the part. I guess on this part right here, I don't hear nothing, Lee.
You ain't tell me it was gonna be sound.
Yeah, it's sound.
I ain't set it up for sound.
Nah, but go ahead. But I could be the sound. Yeah, but hey, watch, keep clicking.
No. Let me switch it. Keep on talking.
Yeah, so I went up there, man, and man, it's beautiful, man. From the outside with the whole his writings right there. Man, Jay-Z a fool, bro. I ain't gonna lie, Jay-Z like that, bro. Jay-Z like that, bro. And I named a bunch of people that did what Jay did it, but it was like something special when they did it. You know what I mean? They did Big Pimpin', You know what I mean? Like, Jay just was, You know what I mean? Talk about the set like that, with a thermobreak jersey on in the fitted, might blow a bag of Hershey in the acidics. Come on, bro. Yellow wristwatch, Gucci flip-flops. Come on, man. J.A. Come on, man. Boy, outside Tupac and Biggie, man, I'm going to have to say. Jay-Z, man, is the best motherfucker doing that shit. It's deadly. So right there just show the Ace of Spades. They had like a little thing with all the little Ace of Spades and things that he talked about and what he did with Ace of Spades. So I try to get a little something right there. Or the stuff they had inside of the display, inside of the cage. Know what I mean? It's Vanity Fair joint. Like, bro been putting it down for so long, bro. And the Book of Hov is just like his whole life. His whole life. 100. Man of the Year. I remember that joint. I was in jail. I remember that Forbes too. Like, these are all the magazines that he was in, bro. Like, Barclays, like, come on, man. Duce, Cigar Company, like, come on, bro.
So what you learned about him that you didn't know about him when you went there?
Nothing. I know everything about him. That's the thing. Go ahead, man. Hit that one. I ain't had to learn nothing. This baseline, hold on, let me go back. This is Baseline Studio where they used to record a lot of the Rockefeller music. This is not actually Baseline, but I think this is like all the equipment that was left over that could be salvaged from Baseline. I could be wrong. I didn't even ask them, but man, they took us inside the Baseline Studio and they paid clips from the actual Baseline Studio, and that's like how it looked back then. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's Hovey joint right there, bro. I was like, whoa. I'm in Baseline Studio. Any hip-hop heads, anybody that study hip-hop and love hip-hop, you know about Baseline Studio. You heard about it back then. You know what I'm saying? And then they just show you his plats. That's Unplugged. They show you his plats. That's the Dynasty. They show you what they did, bro. Like, I never seen the plat up close. Linkin Park joint. Like, the boy he records so many platinum records. And I got that as a gift. Hold up, I think I got something else. Hold up. Right there. These some pictures I took. That shit was hard. I remember he wore that shirt. I forgot what he was on. Unplugged. He wore that on his MTV Unplugged. That shirt right there in the middle. Hell yeah, he wore that on Unplugged. And this is kind of a display they had. They had a kind of display right there. When you go inside of this room, they had multiple TVs playing, you know what I'm saying, playing Jay-Z, you know, all his videos. And, you know, they did like a documentary. So you walk in these little rooms. Man, y'all, it's over with in October, so y'all got to get up there. You walk in these little rooms and they give you a whole documentary of the boy Hovey. You get what I'm saying? They give you a whole documentary on Hovey, man. I love it. Let me see what we got right here. One more. Oh. That's that Rock Nation brunch. Yeah, Jay came a long way, bro. Yeah. Yeah, Jay came a long way, man. Hey, if you ain't doing nothing, man, and you ain't doing nothing, man, this weekend, man, go up there, man, and handle your business, man. And go see, man, go see that Book of Hov in that Brooklyn Library. It's very easy to get to. Take the no tolls way. You won't pay no tolls. If you don't, you're gonna pay about $33 to get from Manhattan. Depends on which way you coming in. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Hopefully y'all give me some feedback on here. I just wanted to talk to my fans, my audience, and let y'all know that I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, man. And subscribe. Hit that notification button. Drop a like. Share. And I've been off of not eating for 2 days, bro. Not intentionally, but now Lee telling me, look, Got 2 days in, just go with the fruits and veggies. Just do it like this. I'm telling you now, man, it hurt. It hurt, man. Hey, man, till next time, man. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet. RawDope Podcast.